got some interesting stories.
I can't imagine with its. In just the North American 29 stories, I'm sure are pretty insane.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Be like
What's
a
his name?
6-hour podcast.
Joel Maxfield.
Got to get him. Joel.
Yeah.
Got to get.
If you watch the film, he has a portion of it there where he says he went on a muskox hunt and he got up there and he had enough money for one tag. He found out he could get two, and so he borrowed money to
Smart
buy
man.
a second tag. And then he went up and killed 2 muskox with his bow, and he said he got back and landed and got to his truck and realized he didn't have enough gas in his pickup truck to make the trip to home. So he's like, here I am, I've just been on this epic adventure, I killed 2 muskox, and I don't have the money to put in my truck to drive back home.
This is my kind of guy.
So he had to call and borrow money to get back home.
Travis, would you do that?
Yes.
I know you would do that.
Yes.
He,
Where was he?
I don't know the location, I don't know, but it was, 2 muskox, he said. And it's been, I'll bet it's been 30 years ago, probably 20, 25 years ago. He also talks about he wanted to kill a polar bear, to go with his.
Oh, I would have
North
loved to do that.
American 29, and he went to his wife and said, how much do you, how strongly do you feel about a 401k? And she said, go ahead. If you want to dip into
Really?
it, chase it. Yeah, so he did. Yeah, dip
Sounds
into
for
it.
him.
Yeah,
My kind of guy.
Honestly, this guy's right up my alley. We
and he-
definitely got to talk to him.
Yeah.
Wow.
You would do that. I'm pretty.
Oh yeah.
You
It's
do that?
well. I mean, yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Bridger knows. I've done some crazy things.
Well, so we have Travis Hall from Browning, CEO of Browning. How long you been the CEO for?
12 years. Been at Browning
12.
27 years.
Worked your way up,
27
became
years.
CEO.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you got your son, Bridger, here,
Yep.
who's going to validate, attest, and let us know who you really are.
I'll give you the honest answers.
Yeah, let us know who you really are.
We'll see. Yeah.
But
yeah.
we'll get into the backstory between us and you specifically is why
Sure.
we got with Browning
Sure.
is because of you.
Yep.
But you over the years getting to know you, I feel like I would have done that being in that situation. I've never found myself in that situation, but I genuinely would, and I feel like you would too.
Yeah, hunting's really my life. I mean, it's a job and I've lived a dream, but that's kind of from when I was a little kid, that's what we did. And it got in my blood and I mean, everything.
It was apparent from day one that like the CEO of Browning is one of us. Like he's a hunter.
Your job followed your passion.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And really just got lucky. But yeah, it's our lifestyle. Everything
No hard
about
work, just luck, huh?
it. Well,
Exactly.
I mean, there's got to be a little bit of that, but got to be in the right place at the right time, and things have to fall in place. And and Browning's here. Browning was in my home state. I mean, I grew up here in Utah, and so it's honestly a dream. I do have a funny story. When I was in high school,
Where'd you go to high school?
Bonneville High School in
Okay.
Ogden, Utah.
Gotcha.
My good buddy's stepfather's father, so his grandfather, he called it, was the president of Browning.
No shit. Really.
Unbelievable. I mean, and I can remember we'd go over to his house and he'd have all these guns and we'd talk Browning. And of course, at the time, I mean, I couldn't afford a Browning. I mean, I couldn't. My first shotgun was a Remington.
Yeah.
And I did sell it. And I can remember, thinking, I remember when he first told me, I said, no, because I didn't even know Browning was here. I had no idea it was in Utah. And it's the truth, and I ended up getting a job there. And
So what were you thinking you were going to do before Browning? This is early, right? Like this is
oh yeah, I mean,
pre-family,
I'm in
pre-wife,
high school, and my parents were divorced when I was young. So my real father was a big game hunter, and my stepfather was an upland bird hunter. And my dad would take me from the time I can ever remember, and I remember deer hunting up in northern Utah. My uncle was there. We had a family friend that had a cabin, and those were the best times ever. And I remember, because I lived with my mother, my dad would drop me off after the hunt, and I would cry.
You just want to be back up there.
Oh, I mean, like
Yeah.
heartbroken, genuinely freaked out that the hunting was over.
How was hunting back then up there?
You know,
Big game wise.
it was okay. You know, it was all about being out and enjoying. And I remember the first, this is back in Utah when you couldn't hunt big game till you turned 16. You know, now it's all changed, but the first buck I took was up there, and it was a nice little forkhorn. And I'm telling you today, I'm as proud as that deer as any of the deer I've been able to harvest up to this
Which
point.
are some big ones. We'll get into those too.
Yeah.
I've seen some pictures.
So
So
anyway,
you went straight into Browning then?
well, I went to the University of Utah, and when while I was going to school, I worked for a marketing company that had an office here and one in San Francisco. So I graduated.
Who would have thought a marketing company would come out of Utah?
Yeah.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah. And so I just worked there, and I don't know that I've ever told you the story of how I ended up at Browning.
No, I'm
Craziest
genuinely
thing in the
asking.
world.
Yeah.
So, working for this company, had graduated from the U in marketing. We're doing all sorts of different marketing. We had the Big O Tires account and a bunch of different things. And at the time, I had kind of become an account executive and trying to drum up business. And this is going to date me. I'm not as old as those that'll see this as I look, but I am a little older. But there was an ad in the paper for an advertising manager at Browning. And I saw it, and I went, you know what? I wasn't thinking about the job, but I went, I'm going to go land the Browning account for our ad agency.
Oh, you think it was something different there?
Ulterior motives.
I mean, straight up. So I called, and they said, oh, we're hiring this person, you know, but we think we have somebody. And I says, well, I'd like to talk. Who's the person? They told me who it was, and I said, I'd really like to talk to him. Again, not thinking about the job. And they said, well, send up a resume. And I thought, okay.
Why not?
Doctored up, you know, fixed my resume, sent it up. And they called me and said, okay, we want to interview. And I went up. I can remember this almost like it was yesterday. I went up, didn't even tell the company I was working. You know, I was just out drumming up business. Went up and I interviewed like for 4 or 5 hours. And I interviewed the head of the advertising, the copywriters, the graphic designers, all these people, and went through this interview, and at the end went back into the guy that was running the advertising. And I quickly recognized that they had their own in-house ad agency. And I'm like, oh man, this kind of... But I'm still thinking, hey, I can do this. I can figure a way to get some business. So we go in at the end, and he says, you know, we kind of had somebody, but yeah, you've interviewed really well. We want to offer you the job. And I said...
In your mind, you're still fighting for the business,
and
not
I said,
the job.
hey, well, you know, and then I was upfront and honest with it. Not that I wasn't honest, but I said, hey, to be honest, I work for an ad agency. Yeah. I kind of want to, you know, I was thinking maybe there was some business I could do. And he says, we do everything in-house, and it's very technical, and, you know, owner's manuals and all this stuff I had learned throughout the day. And he said, you want the job?
On the spot.
And I said, hey, man, I don't know. I said, I said, can you give me a day? And he said, you have 24 hours. And I went home, talked to my wife, and went, hey, come on, I got to do this. This is crazy. This is Browning.
Yeah.
And she said, well, what about the company? And I said, hey, they'll get over it. And the next day I took the job. And I was the advertising production manager at Browning.
Advertising production manager.
Yeah.
What did advertising look like back then? What were you doing? Magazines, commercials?
Yeah, all print ads, some television, but it was the old school. I mean, outdoor TV hadn't even gotten big at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a little bit, but it was mostly print ads.
Was there any red tape back then marketing firearms like there are today? Or were you like, did you,
Facebook wasn't banning them?
yeah, Facebook wasn't
but
banning
not as bad. I mean,
getting kicked off of Facebook because we showed dead
yeah,
animal?
it was mostly the endemic, you know,
Yeah.
the outdoor lives and the Field and Stream, the big, you know, of course the Peterson publications back then, and really I came in and I had a bunch of experience in that area at the ad agency. So when I came in, I saw the way they were doing things, and I still to this day, and Lorenzo's heard me say it 1,000 times, I'm just an average guy. I really am. I mean, I'll work hard, but I had enough experience, and they had some things they needed some help with. They weren't doing real well, and so I started instigating a few simple things, and all of a sudden people are going, wow, this guy makes stuff happen, and we've never done that before. And so 6 months after I became the advertising production manager, he was the vice president of advertising, came to me and said, hey, I want you to take over public relations. I said, what? and you know, but at the time I'm young and aggressive. I said, okay. And back then, you want to talk about ancient, that's when we would write out press releases. And, you know, it wasn't electronic, so we had slides with all the products and slides. We'd send them out to the outdoor riders.
Yeah, not dated at all here.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
but
You
you know, this
Bridges,
is...
do you know what a slide is?
Yeah,
I have no idea. You probably faxed it over too.
Hey, do you know what he says to me all the time? Oh, you're going to fax that over? He doesn't even know what a
That's a
fax
good
machine
slide right
is.
there. That's a good.
No 3.5
I have
inch
no idea
floppy
what
disks?
I have no idea what a fax machine is.
But you know what? You think about this, though. That's only in the late 90s.
It's not
Yeah.
too far away.
Yeah.
I mean,
quick. It happened really
the
quick.
time that technology has changed things is just unbelievable.
Yeah, we're like the last demographic that will ever remember before and after. I mean,
Yeah.
Trail, you're like right on
I'm
that
right
line.
at the
Yeah,
cusp.
you're
I
right.
got-
You
I got-
remember it.
I got
but
my
it-
first cell phone.
I
and,
can't imagine how fast it happened for you.
when I
'cause
was
you were,
25.
Yeah.
And then, I remember like my first email. Like
Yeah.
getting my first email account
Oh,
set
yeah.
up.
That was a
So
cool
crazy.
feeling.
Dial up and all
So
that. Like, I
you have
remember
you have an
pre- and
anecdote
post.
in your story though that is
Yeah.
not average. When you're fighting for the business and you find out that they have an internal agency, and your mindset is, I'll still figure it out. There's still a way.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
average.
Well,
That's the kind of guy you are, right? Like you're gonna
yeah,
figure it
you're
out.
gonna fight. You're gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna try to do, again, legally, ethically, all those things. But you're gonna try to do whatever you can to make it happen. That's, look, I work hard, and one of my character flaws, but I think one of the strengths is I want to win.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. The people at Browning will all tell you that. I don't know why. I mean, God-given, but I am driven to win. I hate to lose.
Did you play sports? Like it sounds like you're so passionate about it.
Do
So like
you know,
come from,
that's another funny thing. You know, I'm not a big guy, so I never excelled in that. But when I was young, I started working at a golf course.
Okay. It's
In
very
fact, 10
competitive.
years old, there's another story about working hard.
Yeah.
I was 10 years old and went down to a golf course and got a job parking golf carts, plugging them in the electric, cleaning them. Guy would pay me $2 a night out of the till. Straight up. I mean, crazy stuff. But so
That's awesome,
I did
though.
play golf, and at one time I got pretty good at it.
Yeah. I was
I
gonna
was
say, you have
pretty
sounds like you have a
determined.
competitive fire like in you.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's what happened. Immediately when we were building GoHunt, and this is back, you were with us, Trail was not with us. It was me, Porter, Trail, a couple other guys. Like we were tiny, and we knew what we wanted to do, but it had never been done before, right? Like this, content-based, community-based, bring everyone into one place. Like there was no ESPN.com for hunting. How that was possible, Chris and I both, we couldn't believe it. That as big as hunting is, and as many people are in it, the community of it, like the sharing stories part of it, like that whole campfire talk that everyone talks about with hunting, it didn't exist. There wasn't like a free open site. There were forums at the time, and there were some magazines, but like there was a breakdown of this real ESPN leader in what hunting is, right? And we knew what we wanted to build, but we hadn't built it yet. So we were trying to scrape together what we could to help us out in our investment of building GoHunt.
Yeah.
We were meeting with a lot of people. we didn't meet with you first. I can't remember who we talked to at Browning first, but then we got with you maybe like.
And I remember this. At least I remember it was Steve Decker.
Correct. That's who it came through.
Steve Decker told me about this, this little organization, this little group that we're putting this together, and it was down in Vegas at the.
Oh yeah, the Hunter Christmas.
Yeah, Hunter Christmas,
Yep,
Cowboy, whatever that was.
Cowboy Christmas?
Very first year of Hunter Christmas.
Yeah, the Hunter Christmas side.
RMEF hooked on to Cowboy Christmas the first year of that.
Upstairs, I worked that booth.
Yeah, upstairs. And he took us by, you had a booth there and explained it. And so I listened, and I was with Ryan Godridge, who is now my senior vice president.
Yep.
And when we walked away, I said, we are going to join those people, and they are going to help us. Because at the time...
You're the first one that believed in what we were wanting
100%.
to do. Because it had never been, like I said, it had never been done before.
Yep.
And we probably sounded like a bunch of idiots trying to explain. I mean, we were young, you know, like.
What it looked like back then too.
Oh, it was
I should pull up some old photos of that.
It was
pretty crazy.
And
where it is now.
You know, we knew what we wanted to do, but we didn't know how we were going to do it. We just knew we were going to work super hard and try and get it done. Like that's all we knew.
Yep.
And I think it came off well to you guys.
I saw the fire.
Yeah,
Yes.
because immediately you guys were in on a. I don't want to put any business out there, but on a big number to help us, like truly help us build what we wanted to build. You guys believed in us and really helped us out, and that's where the relationship of Browning has come from, and that's why it's been so strong over the years.
Yep.
Is you guys make an absolute phenomenal product. Obviously, you guys are the leader by a mile. I mean. Right.
Well,
that's
thank
the honest
you.
truth.
It's the
honest truth.
We feel that way. We
you
try
are.
real hard.
You guys are the leader by
try
a
real
mile,
hard.
and so it's not only a great product, but like that, the loyalty and what you saw in us, and what we felt in you being one of us. Like the CEO, we got a meeting with one of the largest hunting companies out there with the
what I'm
CEO,
curious,
and we were nothing. We literally didn't even know how to explain what we wanted to do, and he walked away saying, "That's our guys. That's who
That's
we're
what
going
I'm
with."
curious. I'm curious about. You must hear pitches from people that are within the business trying to get started, whether they're doing something like us or, maybe they got an Instagram following or whatever it is. Like, what is it about people when they make a pitch to you or try to establish a relationship? Like, what is it? I'm curious.
That's a really good question. It's probably the $1 million question. You can almost. I'm kind of a gut feel guy.
How's that
I mean, you got to have the book, you got to have knowledge and book smarts and principles and all of those understandings and that kind of knowledge. But, you kind of got to go with your gut. And, I think, everybody has their talents and what they're good at. I do believe that I understand people. I understand... and can make a pretty quick judgment. And in fact, Bridger can tell you, my family jokes all the time. My daughter, when guys were coming around dating, I'd go, no.
No right away, huh?
And the guy she married, first time he came to the door, I remember, and my wife would tell you, I went, uh-oh.
That's the one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And I don't know, a sixth sense, but when I saw the passion... When I saw that they wanted to do something that hadn't been done, I could tell Lorenzo, not like me. I'm more like him. Even though I'm a little older than him, I wouldn't say he's like me. I'm like him. And so I could.
I'm getting
a little
pretty
bit.
great.
But I could see that they were going to make it happen. And the other part of that story is on our side is we were also at the time. Really in the process of transitioning our brand. And what I mean by that is, so, 1878, John Browning, first gun, right?
Yeah.
So it's an old established company. Well, that's great, but it also can be a challenge to remain relevant.
Yeah.
And I recognized, and our team recognized, we got to make sure that this isn't just my grandpa's brand.
Yep.
It's got to be relevant to Bridger and others and Lorenzo at the time and Chris Porter and all these people that are
Brady was still an archer at the time.
Yeah.
You guys converted him.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at the
Evidently
time,
was a diehard archer.
he was
and-
diehard.
good.
Yeah,
good.
this is the prime example of the best success story you've ever had.
Yes,
Is
changing
converting Brady?
Yeah, Brady
Yep.
from a bow hunter to
Now I'm
straight
a
rifle guy.
straight rifle.
I remember
complete
those
opposite.
conversations. But
Yeah.
the thing is you saw our vision.
Yep.
And I don't know what it was. I don't know if we had messed up enough of them before to like learn what we weren't saying correctly. I don't know what it was, but you got our vision immediately, and I
Yep.
vividly remember that, and nobody else did. You
Yep.
know, like I'm completely honest. My family didn't even understand my vision. Like, and I, live with them constantly, and we're always together.
They're
But,
warming
like,
up to it.
They're they've warmed up to it over the years, but like, it was.
Sure.
I don't know what it was if we said something different, or if you truly just could see it immediately.
No. I think we could see it. We were looking. We were
Yeah.
looking for something different, something new to help move forward. And I mean, honestly, I remember walking away with Ryan Godridge and said, we are going to, and I let people do their jobs. I believe in that. I mean, I came up through sales and marketing. Last thing I need to do is be that micromanage hover, the hover CEO. That's not me. But I did say to him, we will do this. And Lorenzo, I'll be honest. And I said, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I have a really good feeling this is going to work for them, and it's going to work for us.
Yep.
And we're going to piggyback it, and we're going to ride it. And here we are.
Here we are. What?
It's been phenomenal.
6 years later? It's been 6 years of us working. 7 years later.
Might be 7. Yeah.
I think it's
I was
7.
gonna say, yeah.
I've been here 6, so
It's 7.
if they came on just before I did, it'd be
It's 7 years. Here we are 7 years later.
Unreal.
It is pretty incredible.
It
and
is.
I'm proud of the job we've done for you guys, because we want to
Absolutely.
represent, you guys. I'm a very loyal person, like loyal to a fault. To the point where it gets in my own way sometimes of people I probably should, who haven't showed the same loyalty in return, should
Right.
pass out. Like, here we are 7 years later. You guys have held loyalty. We've held loyalty. It's been an awesome run.
Absolutely.
And I'm proud of what we've done for Browning. I think we've helped, right?
Oh, I
think we've
that's
done-
an understatement.
Yeah.
No question. And again, I think, you helped obviously, and by the way, we're still moving and changing and learning and growing and making sure the brand's relevant, but you helped immensely. And obviously, I mean, we converted Brady, but
Brady is the help.
you helped our X-Bolt and that product line. I mean,
And there's no denying it. It's a phenomenal rifle. I really have confidence no matter what hunt I go on.
yeah.
That's the thing with us too, is like we all in the vision for us in the beginning, and it's we didn't know we were going to do the stores. This is a good example for the store, the e-com shop. Like, we would refuse to go with brands to just raise money. Like, we thankfully had enough capital and were successful enough early on to invest in ourselves from the business and build this thing essentially organically. We didn't have to rely on just going to any free money we could find. We were
Right.
taking on from whatever brand wanted to pay us. We were able to be very selective. And I am unreal thankful for that, because that's what protects the DNA and the culture of the brand, and what allows us to continue to be authentic. Is nowhere in our path have we ever had to, the whole sellout thing. We never have had to do that. And even with the store, we only bring on brands that we want and that we believe in, that we use and we believe in.
Right.
So with Browning and Brady, converting him, it is a phenomenal product. You guys are light years beyond the rest of them for a reason. So it's kind of easy to talk about too at the same time. So you guys make our lives pretty easy, especially Brady's life.
If I can
Pretty
trust
easy.
it, I use it, and
Yeah.
I trust everything about it.
So it's easy to be authentic about it. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh,
That's the same thing with
absolutely.
our stores. Like,
Absolutely.
we get, how many times have you been asked to carry something, or us? And
Many.
we get
All the
boxes.
time.
Boxes show up to our office. Hey, we'd love to be in your store, and we will try it. We will do it. But if it's not, doesn't fit, it doesn't fit.
Right.
We're not going to do it to just
Right.
make a little bit extra money.
Yep.
It's not our motivation.
Nor are we.
Yeah.
And that's probably why this works.
Yep.
We'd love to take credit for the brand. The brand was built by John M. himself. Our job is to continue to grow and change and continue to keep it relevant. And we're the same way. I mean, we're only going to produce, our tagline, the best there is. That's what we're going to produce. And, you know, we're not going to cut corners. We're not going to, you know, cheapen things or do the things that, again, others, competitors, great. But we know who we are. We know what makes us good. And we're going to continue to try to do that. And, you know, we're kind of like you guys. I mean, obviously, Brady and some of you get out in the woods more than some of us would like to, but
Yeah.
no, we're just all, you look at the people, and Lorenzo's been there, and Brady, you've met some of our folks. They're just regular guys that love it.
Yeah, they got a passion.
That's why
Deep
I mean,
passion.
So
They do.
when we walked away, right? So our side of the story, when we pitched you guys and we
Yeah.
walked away, we're like, how much should we ask for? You know, it's that whole thing. Like, well, we really want to work. They are one of us. Like, they get it. They are one of us. We don't need, you know, but maybe if we can get them to step up, we won't need to even go chase anyone else, and we can just do this together. Like, maybe. So we asked for something we felt like we didn't deserve, and you guys said yes. And it ended up, that's always a good deal, right? Like, you guys believed in us. We were unreal appreciative of the buy-in, so to speak, or to help us get going on the marketing and all this stuff. And yeah, it was a fun conversation, Chris and I, of like, how much should we ask for? Like, we've never done this. What do we do? Like, we're not influencers, you know. All
Well,
that
you know,
bullshit. We're
it's
not
funny
this, we're not
because on the
that.
flip side, I was saying, I want in there.
Yeah.
I hope to Sam hell it's not too crazy because we're gonna get
I
in
hope
there
they're
somehow.
realistic. Yeah,
I
I
hope
know.
they're realistic.
I've been around,
Yeah.
you know, some stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, your guys' mind, because you were emphatic about wanting to work together, and we
Yep.
were too, right there in the
Yep.
moment. And I knew you just hoping we were going to be realistic, but we wanted to kind of push the envelope to make sure we were working with the people we wanted, and we wouldn't ever have to go find, because we had a set amount of money we needed to bring in to be able to do what we wanted to do, right?
Right.
Like, we were building a
Right.
business. We had a plan. We knew what we wanted.
Yep.
We knew what we needed. So it was interesting. We're like, should
Yep.
we do it? No, back it off. No, let's do it. Let's just starting point. Let's just throw this out there and see what happens. And it ended up working. Really worked.
And you know, now I would hope, and again, I know it's a business. We're in the business. You're in the business, but it's good to hear that you guys love the product.
Yeah.
And again, business is business, but the fact that you are sold on our product, I mean, that's what we're trying to accomplish. You know, you are our customers. Yeah, we're business partners, but you're our customer.
Yeah.
You know, you're the people that we want buying our products. So makes
Especially
us feel
Brady.
good. Yep.
Brady is a psycho about this stuff. And I like
Yes,
I go down rabbit
and that's a
holes and
huge
rabbit holes.
compliment. I'm using psycho in the term.
Yeah.
A loving psycho.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
it is.
Psycho.
Man, when he goes to the range and comes back into the office, it is a download of rifle shooting. Here's what I did today. Here's what I'm changing. I'm like, holy shit, man.
Some days I just go to the range and shoot one round. It was perfect. Literally, that's all I need to do. Walk back, go, leave. And go.
Well,
like,
Does that make your day complete?
yeah. We get some friends that are like, why don't I shoot more? Like, I shot my one at the distance I needed to. It hit exactly where I wanted to. What can I
What
can
else
improve
do I
from
need to
this?
do?
I've already practiced before. It's not like I'm going there just to practice shot execution,
Easy,
pressing the
I
trigger.
get it, I get it.
Easy.
You get me
fired
down,
up.
you get me down
He's
passion.
going
You get the
out.
passion going.
Brady this year.
pretty
Brady
good.
this year has killed a mountain lion at how far?
706 with the X bolt.
The elk at
621.
Marco,
410.
Polo, and then your ibex.
Ibex was 620, and then the wolf was 291.
Smoked them.
Love it.
Confidence enough
one
to
year.
take an X bolt to Tajikistan. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Right.
Never going to probably ever visit that country again.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, it's a big investment cost wise to get over there, but then have every single thing on the hunt just work out perfectly. Environmentals are crazy. It's negative 15 degrees, 30-mile wind. Literally aiming at the sheep for the first time I've ever put a gun aimed at a sheep I have a tag for,
Unreal.
and literally to make the best shot of my life. Like, I can show you it later. When I say the best shot of my life, it's the best shot of my life.
It's
Hands
pretty-
down.
it's pretty
I've taken
incredible.
further shots,
Wow.
closer shots,
That's-
different conditions, but like have it be that special of a moment and have it work out. And like when I say I bawled my eyes off afterwards,
Yeah.
I bawled my eyes off. Like, it's that special of a moment.
Yeah.
It's like
Hey.
have confidence and just do that.
That's what we're selling
Correct.
right there.
Yep.
It's
what
so,
you can
so
feel.
amazing to have.
Heartbeats.
Yeah, exactly.
Heartbeats. It's what we're selling.
that moment right there,
That's-
and knowing that that's what you're
What we're
taking to
doing.
go do it. Look, for the sake of transparency, it's just kind of registering in my mind. Look, we have a sponsorship deal with you guys, an
Yep.
exclusive sponsorship deal with you guys, and we did since the day I'm talking about. And a lot of people can think that's bought and paid for promotion, but in our instance, like, take me for my word or not, I really don't care, but like, we use it because we want to use it.
Right.
We used your money to help us market and grow our business, right? Like, that's what it was for. It wasn't for, we're not being paid to use the product. You guys saw our vision and we needed some help at the time. That's what happened, right?
Correct.
That's
There
what
is no
happened.
question in my mind that if our product didn't perform, we wouldn't be sitting here
7 years
Yeah.
later.
and you wouldn't be using our product.
Yep.
Yeah.
No question in my mind.
Yeah.
I do know you well enough.
Yeah.
No
So
question.
just to clear,
Yeah,
what we're talking about.
absolutely.
Like, yeah, you
Absolutely.
guys, we had an exclusive sponsorship.
Yeah.
Our only, by the way, only one we've ever done, because you guys stepped up to the plate. It's the only one we had to do.
Yeah.
But businesses, we needed to do what we had to do,
Yep.
right? We had our finances, but we needed some more for what we wanted to accomplish, and you guys took the bite. And it's not for the product, right? Like, and I'll be transparent about that all day long. Like, we spent your money elsewhere, but it ended up working out, right? Like,
Yep.
I feel like that's good business, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's
been
not for the
phenomenal.
product. You guys aren't paying for Brady, right? Like,
No.
that's what
no,
it was.
No. And again, as I said earlier, you've helped us immensely.
If you are, you could get him far cheaper, I'm sure.
Oh, far cheaper.
Far cheaper. Yep. Good. Note. Remember.
Write that one
Yeah.
down.
Write that down.
You heard it here first.
So outside of the business talk,
Yeah.
the thing that stood out to us too, meeting with a CEO, which I'd never thought I'd be meeting with a CEO of a massive company that early on in GOHUNT, but it happened. I could tell you were a hunter immediately, and a Western hunter, big time Western hunter. What is your hunt? What's your go-to thing? On the hunting side of your personality outside of Browning, who are you?
I am mule deer man.
I love this man already.
I was going to
Mule
say, he
deer,
grew
man.
up in
Gosh.
Utah, and
Yeah.
I mean, what?
You know, it's, and I've had some unbelievable opportunities through Browning. But even before those times, I mean, I've got some of the craziest, dumbest stories and dumb things we did as kids, hunting. And, I'm sure it was because those are my earliest memories with my father, is mule deer hunting.
Yep.
And watching him shoot deer and then, like I said, my first 2-point. And I mean, I was just proud. I still have a photo of that. And, I was a lot younger but I remember that feeling of that first buck. And ever since then, I just love to chase mule deer. I love the terrain. I love, everything about mule deer. Now, I will admit, lately I've kind of fallen in love with the sheep thing, and I've got that bug. But
As a CEO of Browning should.
Yeah.
I mean, if you aren't the guy who can go on sheep hunts, who is?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what am I
very
working
fortunate. But at the end of the day, those mule deer absolutely drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Drive me crazy.
for? You've killed some great bucks too.
Yes, sir. Fortunately.
really good bucks.
Yeah. And, the thing I do like too is everything about hunting, from the scouting to the finding them to the hunting them. Obviously, I love the taxidermy side of it and all of that. But, Bridger and I have spent literally, if I wished I would have kept track of the amount of time I've spent on the side of a mountain with Bridger scouting for mule deer. I mean, it's got to be thousands of hours.
Yeah.
And, I know when he was young, he'd come along and he'd, Dad, how long are we going to sit here? What are we doing?
But now it's like, I want to stay out there later and longer.
Man,
Why are we going back?
And Bridger's had the opportunity to kill a couple of really nice bucks. But just being it's where I'm from. It's the world I like to be in. And if I had to choose, I hope I never have to, but if I had to choose, that would be it.
Yep.
I'd hunt mule deer.
They're just so special. Where they take you, the terrain,
Yep.
elements.
Yep.
the struggle.
And again, people always say, well, yeah, but you're just a trophy hunter. Rah, rah, rah. You know what I say? A trophy is what you say it is. That fork-horn buck is a trophy to me.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had the opportunity to kill some big deer, but watching them and finding and getting the right one and studying them, I mean, it's just,
And you've done that multiple
fired
times.
up.
You have multiple good deer that you've done that on. We've talked about a lot of those.
Yep, I have been very fortunate and finding them and then losing them and
That chess match.
panicked and where did they go?
This is when I knew he was one of us,
man.
right?
Oh,
Like, yeah, he
You
was.
see the passion already.
He is who he is, and with Browning. But like, we're talking about these stories.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, man, this guy is. He's got the same stories as us.
That's it. That's me. That's it.
You might need to see some photos of these bucks. They're sounding like they're pretty
They're
good.
big deer.
We'll dip into that. But it's I love anything that's hard, that makes you work, that teaches you persistence and patience, and because I need a lot of patience. Bridger probably could speak to that.
We're gonna get to Bridger here in a second.
But yeah, it's and any of that, and then being outside,
Yep.
you know, leading in, you know, to Bridger, my kids didn't have a chance, you know, and my daughter was born first. I have 2 kids, and you know, my daughter, I can remember as a little girl, we lived in this house, and we had this creek in our backyard, and we had squirrels. And they were becoming a problem. They were getting into a rock wall, and I said, "Oh, we're going to go squirrel hunting." And you know, I'd talked hunting, and she was little.
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm going to go get the pellet gun, and you're going to come with me." Off she goes, and I grabbed the pellet gun and come out. And I said to my wife, "Where's Mackenzie?" She said, "Oh, she's getting dressed." I'm like, "Okay." She comes out in camouflage.
That is a cool story.
I mean, in the backyard to shoot
Yeah.
squirrels. And so she was in. When Bridger was born, my biggest fear, will he love to hunt? Will he love it? And I honestly, it was, oh, I hope he can. And, you know, and so I was careful, took him out, had, you know, careful with the weather and didn't, you know, made sure nothing was miserable. But it was once or twice, and I knew he was in.
And
I mean,
I went through that same thing with my son.
Yeah.
He's turning 4 here shortly, and he's in it. I can already see it.
Yeah.
He's in it. Yeah.
I don't
So
know, he looked pretty bored out there on your wife's hunt.
yeah,
He has a
yelling
pretty,
at the elk.
he has a pretty good mouth bugle.
He's
Oh,
calling
he's
out
great.
on his
Great.
Probably better than most.
phenomenal
Thank
film,
you.
though.
Really
Phenomenal.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Phenomenal.
That's my wife. She's a killer, man.
Yeah, you're a lucky man.
She's half native, so I always tell her there's something about her heritage and something a bow in her hand. You know,
cool.
That's what it is.
That is cool stuff.
So Bridger, the relationship with your dad, what's it built off of?
First, love, right?
Yeah.
We have that friendship. He's my best friend. He always will be. But second is the outdoors.
Yeah.
That's what I've grown up doing with him. That's what we'll do as long as we can together. I remember turkey hunting was my first thing doing with him is watching. And I remember he called a bird in, and he loves getting close to
Yeah.
animals. And sometimes
Like doing hard
it's-
shit. Get close.
Sometimes it's scary.
Yeah.
Like, I remember growing up, like, we called the turkey in, and this turkey's big as me at this point. And this thing comes around the bush, like, 3 yards from the barrel. You know, closest I've ever been to a bird. And he said afterwards, when he tells the story, that he thought a coyote ran up behind us. But it was just me breathing. I was panting so hard.
It was I can remember this very well. Little kid right next to me, turkey comes, trees here, and I'm watching the turkey, but I'm hearing this noise going, what? You know, I'm thinking I'm going to swing. I honestly thought it was a coyote that had come up behind us.
Yeah.
It was him, and he was hyperventilating.
How old were
Almost.
you at the time?
What would you say?
5 or 6,
6.
maybe.
Oh, so it was young.
Yeah, it was
Dude,
young.
I'm still scared of birds. I'm full grown and older. Birds scare the shit out of me.
Yeah,
These things are
that
crazy.
was phenomenal.
Yeah, my relationship with my dad is entirely built off of hunting. Like, that is my relationship with my dad. Obviously, we have a relationship through love and mentorship and all those things that a father and son have. But like when you peel all that away, like our true father-son connection it is never better or stronger than when I hunt with him. Like he went on a Dall sheep hunt. I can't remember the year, 2016, 17, 18, something like that. And a cancellation hunt came up, and him and I were up there together, 2-on-1, and I was just with him. That trip to me will like forever, because I was old enough to understand, you know, what we're talking about. You get to an age where you can start talking about different stuff, and not only talk about different stuff, but like where I was with GOHUNT, what I was going through. Like it's different as you get older, to the understanding of the mentorship that they're trying to tell you, the things they say to you. Like that hunt for me, because it was on that, I mean, it's a backpack sheep hunt. We were out there for 15 days on foot the whole time, living out of our backpacks. It's the first time I had done that with my dad, and I'm going to do it again with him this year and next year too. So that's how good it was.
That's cool.
Right? Definition of success is wanting to do it again. We're doing it 2 more times. But like the foundation of our friendship, father-son, like the friendship within it is only in hunting. And it comes out when we hunt, right? Family dinners, business meetings, very family-based, very business-based.
Right.
But like
Right.
hunting, all friendship.
Yep.
Like that's when that
Pure,
comes out.
it's pure as it gets. I was stone sheep hunting this last fall, and Bridger served a church mission, and he had just gotten home, so he wasn't with me. And when I killed the sheep, and he'll tell you, and look, guys, you just have to know this about me. I called him on the sap phone, and I couldn't talk. I was so choked up.
Yep.
And choked up at the success, but also choked up because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, "Are you okay?" And he's thinking, "Geez, you baby."
Yeah.
But I couldn't, you know, because I was like, I wanted
guy
him
wasn't
there.
there. Yeah.
I wanted him there.
Yeah. Would you
So-
say the same thing, that the friendship between you two is through hunting?
Oh, absolutely.
Not through
Absolutely.
sports or any of that?
No,
It's
no.
hunting.
I chased him around on the sports thing, and we did that when he was young, and I gave up some hunting time for that. We did other things. I remember when Bridger was asked to play on a comp baseball team, and I explained it to him, and he was young, and I said, "But buddy," and I'll admit, I was trying to influence him. "But buddy, you know, the hunting's going to suffer because when
Yeah.
you do this," and when he made the decision not to do it, I was like, yes, best decision. But
Hey,
absolutely,
I'm with you, and I'm not going to
Absolutely.
hide it. I will sway. I will sway
Yeah.
for spring sports, and like
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
going to leave these
And-
falls
and-
open,
and,
huh,
and
bud?
sports are great, and it was, but absolutely, it's. I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah.
My whole, obviously, and you guys work in the industry. Our whole lives are this.
They are.
But all of my free time is spent in the woods and the marsh. That's where it's spent. All of our time together. And even with my daughter and my son-in-law, who came into the family, had never hunted before. Now he's done it, and he's crazy about it. My wife enjoys it. She's done a little bit, but she supports it. And her father did it. And so our life is hunting.
Yeah.
My life is hunting.
Yeah. Are you going to take that on? Is that how you feel about hunting?
Yeah, I'd say I already have.
Yeah. Well, when you look into the future, family, though, if that's what you want, is that what you see yourself doing with?
Yeah,
with your life?
100%.
Yeah. What about going the Browning path, or in the industry path, or anything like that?
I think the industry for sure. That's a goal that I have. You know, following Travis Hall and Browning, that's a tough one because, you know him.
Yeah.
You know his passion, you know his work ethic. That's tough to follow. You know, it's
I like to. You can't follow anyone because they are who they are, and you are. You could be Bridger
Yeah.
Hall. I mean, who knows? Maybe you could be better than your dad. You never know.
I'm
that's
sure
good.
he will. I'm sure he will.
But I think right now I've looked at him. We had a really good conversation the other day. You know, just like you were saying, you had kind of adult conversations with your dad.
Yeah.
We had one about school and my path in school, and we had a really adult conversation that I've never really had about the path and what I need to do and explore.
Yeah.
Because that's a goal I have, to be in the outdoor industry. But he gave me the advice to, you know, look outside that just in case. You know, the world's changing. There's all these things. You can make hunting a hobby. You don't have to make it your job so it can be your hobby.
Yep.
Right. And so it was a really eye-opener to see. And, you know, I'm exploring all sorts of different fields and ways to go in school. But
What are you studying in school?
So right now, business.
Yep.
So I'm just doing some general courses, business classes, and
That can translate to a lot of different things.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because my brother, I have an older brother, hunting is his hobby. He goes to work to hunt, and he's doing very well. He gets to hunt better things than I do, which it is his hobby. He should, and that's what he goes to work for, to support his hobby. There are two ways to look at it. There really is, right? You
Yep.
can set your life up the same, not being in the industry. I will say though, I feel unbelievably fortunate, and I don't know how I would ever live not working in the industry. But I mean, if I had to, I would have to.
Yep.
Right? I mean, it's
Yep.
as simple as that.
Yep.
But you can make it your hobby too, for sure. That's the
And,
beautiful thing
and you
about
know,
hunting.
and I'm sure all of you feel this way. We are fortunate, and I would, I would never complain. But my day job is not just all fun and games. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot to it.
It's the funniest thing to me. You're GOHUNT. You started it. Yeah. Somehow I'm the lucky one. Yep. You must hunt all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I talk about hunting a lot, but I mean, do I get to hunt more than the 2 weeks paid vacation guy? Yeah, of course, I get to do more than
Absolutely.
that. But like, my brother hunted more than me the last 3 years in a row.
No
Like, you know,
question.
like I get
People
to
ask-
talk about it and I get to
Yep.
live it,
Yep.
but do I get to actually do it that much? Like my responsibility first is my family and the business.
Yep.
Then I get to go on.
Yep, people
it's still
all
the same
time.
thing.
Yep, say I want to work at Browning because I want to hunt. Hey, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't. If you want to hunt, don't come work here. Go do something else.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want people that are passionate and do it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it isn't just hunting. It isn't just. But we also have interest in I'm a gear junkie. I love thinking about gear and what are we going to need. And so you have the experience of the hunting, and then you translate it and bring it to the office and say, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that.
Trail just
because
got
this is what it
excited.
has to, this is what
Talking
we
about
need
gear.
when we're out there. And
Yeah.
so, marrying those two things is awesome. But there are other ways, and as you point out,
My
hey,
brother, he's doing a great job of it.
exactly.
I could not be happier for him. He is literally living his hunting dream right
That's
now.
right.
And
That's
he's
right.
not in the industry. And he's living his hunting dream. He is.
And where Bridger ends up, I'll be happy because I know that he loves the game. He
Yeah.
loves the hunting thing.
Yeah.
So he's going to be just fine.
Then the
And-
thing is when you have something like that in your life, this is what my brother says. He goes, I have that in my life, so I don't care what I'm working on. I'll work my ass off because this is what it's for. I
That's
have
right.
what it's for. Like
That's
I know what I can go do for my work. That's the way he looks at it.
I've got 3 boys. My oldest is 17. I was gonna ask you what kind of career advice have you given him, as far as finding a career? I mean,
It's a good question coming from you.
What do you?
You said you're 21, right? That's
Yep,
what we said
21.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I got to think about that. I think you have to be yourself. He mentioned following in Travis Hall's footsteps. Bridger could fill those footsteps in the blink of an eye, and I'm convinced of that. But he's got to, I've told him, and he said it, look at different things, explore different things. I think I've gotten to know Bridger. I don't see Bridger sitting behind a computer coding all day. I don't think that's where he'll end up. So I've said, now if he does, nothing wrong with that. Don't want to offend anybody out
No.
there. But that's not Bridger. Bridger wants to be out and do things. He's got a little bit of my marketing ideas, obviously loves the industry, and there will be opportunities there. But I think hard work, commitment, dedication is number one. I do believe an education is important. Doesn't have to be college, but you do need to know things and learn and how to interact with people. And I look back at my college days, the stuff I learned. I hope nobody from the U's listening and offended. I don't feel like I gained a ton from that. But I learned how to be committed and follow up and finish things. And so all of that's what I want, and that's the advice I give him and anybody that asks is, work hard, get your education, but find what drives you, what gets you heart. I'm a big heartbeat guy.
Yeah.
The people at Browning are so sick of me telling them we sell heartbeats. But if your
good
heart
slogan.
beats
So
a
it is a
little
good slogan.
faster, if you're an engineer and you get excited, there you go. If you're a marketing guy, there you go. If you're an accounting guy, I mean, our CFO, he gets excited over
likes-
numbers.
likes finding numbers.
I don't, but he does. So find what makes your ticker pulse a little more than normal, and then go and live your dream.
That's good. I mean, that's what I tell my kids too. I mean, I and people that have asked me, how do I get, into the industry? I want to hunt. I want to be in the industry. It's typically what I tell them. I mean, you're not gonna get into this industry just because you like hunting. Like it's had to have been the thing that you were doing prior to wanting to get into the industry. You've had to have been passionate about hunting. You have
Right.
to be passionate about that thing, and I just follow your passion. Which is interesting because I think that's a generational shift from. I'm 43. I don't know how old you are, but
54.
54. Okay, I feel like when I was a kid, my parents were very much, go to school, pick a job, get an education, pick something that's gonna, and rightly so, provide for a family, but. I think there's kind of this generational shift in our generation. It's follow your passion. Like find the thing that you love,
Yep.
make a living out of it. So it's good. I was interested to hear your take.
Absolutely. And, yes, you got to provide for the family and do all of those things, but, and do whatever you do, like Lorenzo, his brother, so that you can do the thing.
Yeah.
If you can't, not all of us are lucky enough to be able to
Absolutely.
marry your passion, your hobby with your job. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean,
That
we
don't.
walk this show floor and there's a lot of people slugging it out so they can do that. But if you do the best in whatever your career is, then you'll have these opportunities that will help you fulfill your dreams in the rest of your life.
Yeah, I'm a big fulfillment guy. Like know the why you're working. What is your fulfillment at the end of the day?
Yep.
Right? Like if somebody wants to buy a Lamborghini, if that's their fulfillment, I happen to think that's just
Are you getting one?
no.
Perfect.
God, no. That's those are distractions.
was
If you
saying-
do, we need to talk about our contract.
Yeah, right. Those
Taylor
are,
was just saying you're ordering one.
oh, I can't wait. Put
Nice
some off-road
purple
tires on.
butterfly
No, I
doors.
like that kind of stuff. I see that as like distraction, not fulfillment, right? Like fulfillment is experiential based. Like find those types of things that are providing your soul the fulfillment of experience and enjoyment and shared experiences. Like that's what I'm driven by. And that's my brother's thing is he has that outside of his work, right? Is he as passionate about gaming as I am about hunting, even though those are our two jobs? Of course not. Like he doesn't even gamble. He's not passionate at all. He's passionate about running and building a business. He's passionate there, so he finds
Right.
enjoyment out of that, but he fulfills his soul and the rest of his life with why he's working as hard as he is to go do these things with
That
his
he loves
friends
to
and
do.
family and
Yep.
these experiences.
Yep.
And I think if you have that, right, whether you work in the industry or not, Bridger, like
Right.
if you have that thing, that why you are going to work, you're going to be fulfilled either way, whether you're in the industry or not.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yep, for sure.
My brother's a great example of that.
Yep.
Bridger,
Yep.
where'd you go on a mission? I'm just
I was
curious.
in Kentucky.
Kentucky. Hardest thing you ever did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely the most rewarding.
Yeah.
Definitely learned a lot and did a
Got
lot of things.
Kentucky, huh? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Team Big Whitetail?
There's a few. There's a lot of turkeys. A lot of turkeys.
turkeys.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to hunt though. You can't,
No.
right?
No,
You're not
no
allowed to do
hunting.
anything. Yeah.
No.
No.
So 2 years no hunting.
Yep.
Oh, I'm out. I'd be out. I'd be kicked out.
Yeah.
No way. Where'd you do yours?
London.
London. That's
yeah.
right.
Which the reason I asked, that was the hardest thing I ever did.
Yeah.
Hands down. I mean, very hard. It took a level of patience and persistence that I didn't know that I was capable of. And I'm not active anymore, but coming home, I've always told anybody that was the hardest thing I ever did. And a lot of like who I became as an adult and just like hard work and persistence and patience, a lot of that I could attest to that experience. So I was just
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hard. It's
We
hard.
won't get into a religion podcast here, but
No, we won't. I was
There's
just
things
curious.
about every. No. I'm gonna double down on that. Like, not every religion has whatever to talk about. I have so much respect for the missionaries. Like, you're taking an 18-year-old kid and on their own and to sell a religion. Like, dude, that's some life lessons there that You can really
Absolutely.
You
translate
just
that
got home
into the
then.
rest of life.
Pretty,
Yeah,
pretty
in
recent.
July.
Really?
7 months.
I think, you said 2 years no hunting. I think that helped me appreciate it more.
Me
Yeah.
too.
But then also seeing the people, meeting different people and talking to them that, they've never even experienced hunting or have all these opportunities, whatever it may be, has made me look back and been like, how lucky and blessed I am
Yeah.
to not only do all the crazy things we've done, but, to live here in the West
Yep.
compared to out East, right? And just the experiences, the wildlife, all of it is just.
You're speaking to my heart right now. I mean, that was exactly the experience I had. I mean, I spent 2 years in London, and prior to leaving, going to London for those 2 years, I knew
Out
that
of Paiute County.
Yeah, to Paiute County. yeah, Paiute High. Got my PhD at Paiute High, my Paiute High School diploma. But yeah, those 2 years, like prior to that, I liked to hunt, and I hunted and I played sports, and I did the thing. But like that, I remember very distinctly those 2 years. The thing that I missed the most was the mountains and just being outdoors, and that was like full on when I came home. I was going to be a dentist. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a dentist. And then I came home and I was like, I don't want to be a dentist. I want to be in the outdoors. So I went to work for the Forest Service. But those 2 years were the years that I was like, this is the thing.
I have so
For
much
me.
respect for that, man. It's crazy to think. 18 years old, that's what, like,
Yeah,
the
just a
situation,
kid.
it's crazy. So,
Yeah.
good job on that. That's awesome.
He grew up
That's
for
awesome.
sure.
Yeah.
He grew up.
So
for
when he
sure.
came home, did you guys plan some epic hunts together, or like anything special when he got home for the first season back?
Yeah, I mean, well, he killed a nice elk and killed a funky stag mule deer.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, when he left, I still remember that day, and I mean,
yeah.
I was a mess. I mean, a mess. And I remember it was in August, and we went up to my duck club because I just needed something to get my mind off it and clean decoys. But yeah, I mean, obviously we look forward. I mean, that was the deal, was when he came back, we'll start hunting again. It wasn't
Yeah.
even I mean, that's what we do. And so, yeah, we've had.
So it's just naturally there. You didn't have to plan some huge thing.
No, I mean, and when he was young, we'd go duck hunting, and before I had a duck club or we'd go out and sit in the boat. He couldn't get away with me. There's no better place, and whether it's a
good
duck boat or
conversations.
on the side of a mountain, what's he gonna do? Run away?
Yeah.
I guess he can try.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the conversations and the relationship, as you
Yeah.
talked about with your father, you can't beat it. Everybody always, some of my neighbors and friends that don't hunt say, "How did you raise two great kids?" And I don't have to think. I don't have to go, oh, what? In the woods and the marsh. Period.
Yeah.
Human beings are better when they experience what we experience. And now you're seeing me get passionate and feisty.
Yep.
But I mean, societal issues could be solved in the woods and the marsh.
You see it
100%
happen
agree.
all the time.
Period.
People who struggle with PTSD, right? Like that's a real thing. People
Absolutely.
have seen some shit that no one should have to see or deal with
Yep.
in their life.
Yep.
But it's comes at the huge value of our overall freedom, right? And greatly appreciative of that. But like when they come home and they're struggling, which is the realest form of struggle, when they find hunting, like that is it's a thing. Like
Yep.
it's a proven
It
thing. And
is.
you're looking
It's-
at the worst damage coming home and hunting healing them.
Yep.
Like the woods and the
Yep.
marsh. I completely agree.
Yep.
We have a good friend who's a ranch manager, and he was a principal at a school for, I think it was 20-something years. His name's Kendall Benson, one of the greatest guys on planet Earth. Gotten to know him pretty good over the last couple years as a ranch manager. And his whole thing is take your kid hunting and in the woods as early as they possibly can go. Don't let them find something else first. Get them in there first, then they'll always love it forever. And I didn't know that with my son. I wasn't told that first. Luckily, I'd already kind of done it.
Right.
My experience was my kid was living in a hospital for the first 7 months of his life, so I just wanted him outside in general. He
Sure.
never went outside for 7 months of his life, 6 months of his life, whatever it was. And so like I was already driven by outside, but not necessarily because Kendall had given me this huge mentorship of advice of everything he's seen over the 20 years of middle school, being a principal.
right.
His whole thing is get him outside and make him stay outside with you as early as you can. It'll build it. You'll have that relationship. It'll build it.
Yep. Yep.
Chase them around.
My kids
Deal with it.
used to scream because I was not a video game guy.
Yeah.
You're not going to do video games. No, go outside.
Yeah.
You know, some of the social media. And my kids, I said, you're not doing that. You're not wasting your time. And I understand the importance of it, and I get it. But you're going to be outside, and I'll take you.
Yeah, get some
And
dirt on
We're
you.
going to go do it.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever convince me otherwise. I'll fight to the death that is the way you make good people.
Yeah. So what is your dream hunt that you want to do, Bridger? What is it?
This ought to be interesting.
What do you work? What are you working towards?
Let's see.
I love the big game
Yeah.
thing. And I've looked and I've watched the hunts, I've seen on Instagram all these crazy things, all the things you guys do, places you go. And I don't know what it is, but I just love high country type of stuff. And so watching my dad do the sheep hunt, that's interesting. But this past year, we hunted elk archery in the rut.
Now we're talking.
And
Write that
yeah.
down.
And honestly, if I could go and find one of the biggest bulls, I'd be set. And I love the mule deer, and I've been lucky enough to kill big bucks, and I love it. And honestly, I'm going back to mule deer or elk.
Really?
His dream.
That's
Archery.
yours.
Got in the
Archery.
archery.
So when you start your work career and you start working for that fulfillment of your soul that you want to go do, you're going to start working towards a big elk hunt.
I like
so.
that.
That's your thing.
I
Brady
agree.
likes it too. I know Brady likes that.
I didn't kill a mule this year, and it hurt. But I had a
agree
phenomenal year.
wholeheartedly. I mean,
yeah.
sheep are cool. I mean, I've never hunted I've killed a mountain goat, I've killed moose, I've killed caribou.
Yeah.
Every year though.
Barbary sheep.
Barbary sheep.
Oh,
You
that's a
have
sheep.
killed a sheep.
That's a
Yeah, I have
sheep.
killed a sheep. Yeah, but the thing I get most excited about is like application season and looking at elk hunts.
For elk.
Yeah.
He's your guy.
I
He's
did.
part-
He's
you can
part
talk
elk,
to him for a while.
Like no
So
joke. part elk.
Are you
get
drawn
it.
to the international stuff at all?
I'd say more like, this guess not necessarily international, but like Alaska.
Yeah.
Brown bear would be sweet.
Adventure hunts. kinda
Right, something like that, yeah.
big
As far as like safari goes, I don't know, maybe like Buffalo where it's that adventure.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that would be fun.
That's where I think, going back to what he said, heartbeats, coolest elk encounter we had, I drew back on a bull I didn't even shoot because we had him at 4 yards, right?
Oh, that'll get your heart going.
Yeah.
Came in
Must have had a
bugling.
really good caller in camp or something.
He was passionate, let's put it that way. I about turned around and said, dude, give me that bugle, this thing's gonna walk right on us.
Does he bugle like he talks? Is that how he bugles?
Describe his elk
Yeah.
calling. Passionate.
Passionate elk caller.
Well, yeah, this bull came into 15 yards behind us. I could see the tips of his antlers and his nose and mouth and spit.
Ah,
And I'm like, first I'm thinking, well, what am I gonna do when this thing walks on me?
Yeah.
Like, just pull my knife out instead, or maybe stick him with an arrow with my hand. And he walks around the bush, and we were with a buddy, and he goes, draw, draw, draw. So I came to full draw, and that bull stopped, and I could see his neck up. And I'm at full draw. Luckily, I didn't have to shoot, because I don't know if I could even hit him. I was shaking so bad. And the bull ended up, he saw us, stopped at 20 yards dead away, and he was a good bull.
He was a good bull.
But
He was a good
What kind of bull we talking?
He's probably, he was in 320, 330.
It's a stud bull.
Yeah.
Stud bull
Yeah.
with a bow.
Yeah, he was a good bull.
And he stopped at 20 yards, and I'm looking. I'm still at full draw, waiting for him to turn. They're giving me range, and the bull runs off. And the first thing I do is let go, let it off. And I had to set my bow down and just sit on the ground and catch my breath. And we were all just shook. And I think going forward from that story, we haven't looked at that and said, oh man, we just 320, 330 bull. We missed that opportunity. We said, look at the opportunity we had
Yeah.
being that close to a bull.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I think that, you guys in the industry, working, experience it, talking to people, but for me that, I've experienced it, but I'm not in the industry. It's not my job to say whatever. That's what hunting's about to me, is
Yep.
the experience, the stories. The trophies are cool.
Yeah.
Pursuing the big one, finding them is cool, but it's that experience, especially when you're with people, that it's meaningful.
Yeah. I totally agree. That's what we talk about. Like, we always say go hunt our insider product, our maps, all this stuff, it'll make you more successful. But we don't define success by killing the one, right? Like, that's not success. Success is loving it so much that you can't wait to do it again. That's success. Whatever that is, whatever that experience was, doesn't mean you killed whatever. It doesn't mean any of that shit. It means, did you love it and you cannot wait to go do it again? That's success.
Bridger will never forget. I'll never, and I've had some unbelievable experiences. I'll never forget him at full draw. And I was back just enough that I actually couldn't, just a big bush, I couldn't see the elk, but I'm back there and I'm like, kill it, kill it. But we'll never forget that. And it wasn't a success as far as a kill, but
Yeah.
That's the
heartbeat.
success, was the
The
heartbeat.
heartbeat.
Yeah. Something you guys will have to talk about and do
yeah.
everything.
And-
So, Travis, what's your dream hunt? You've been able to do a lot, right? You've killed a desert, killed a stone.
Yep.
So you've been into the sheep.
Yep.
Have you killed a doll?
I've killed a doll, not a Rocky.
So you need a Rocky for a slam.
And here's the deal. I'd love to do it, not to get it, not to be a Grand Slam I don't care about that. I've never put anything in a trophy book. It's
Yeah.
not. It's my trophy book, but yeah. I would love to hunt a Rocky Mountain sheep. That's on my. It's way up there. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, that's okay too.
Yeah.
I've got.
You're not chasing the accolade. You just want to hunt the species.
No, I just
Yeah.
and I love where they are. I love the idea of it. I had a great time desert sheep hunting, but that's not my. Don't get me wrong, it was fabulous, but the desert is. I love it, but it's just not my. It's not my number one. I'm gonna go hunt Doll again because I love that area. I love
Timbered
that
up,
part of
mountains
the world.
above timberline,
You
yeah.
know, that hard, grind it, nasty. I got frostbite on 2 of my toes on my Doll sheep hunt, and every time they tingle, I get excited.
Yeah, you remember the hunt. Like, it's an instant
And
gratification.
I remember coming home and my wife's, I was complaining,
Like
man,
a
my
trophy.
toes, I can't
That
feel
is
my-"
the trophy.
No, it is. I have 2 toes that'll never be the same. And I love it.
Yeah.
Because it was,
What
we
you had to do to get it.
a freak
right?
storm, and we did it. And so, yeah, anything, but at the end of the day, even if I couldn't do some of those things, if I can get out and, even in my hometown, if I ended up hunting public land in Utah for big bucks, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
As long as I got to be out and do it. And that's, if I can see a sunrise and a sunset, it's pretty tough to beat.
Yeah.
I'm just,
agree.
and we're, all of us at Browning and myself, I just feel like we're just regular people. Bridger the other day, and this sounds funny. He said, we were walking, it was yesterday, we were walking into this show. And Bridger said, do you ever think if the people knew who you were, what would they think? All these people. And I don't tell you this story as an egotistical, because you guys know me. I really don't think, I'm nothing special. Yeah, I have a title of the CEO of Browning, but I'm just Travis Hall.
Yeah.
But he said that, and I went, who would really care? I'm just a dumb guy.
Yeah.
I'm just a regular guy, just as, but it's, so I say that, so I have this wonderful experience of leading Browning. But at the end of the day, I'm just a guy that likes to be in the woods and the marsh, and if I have that opportunity, that's all I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
I bet if they knew who he was, they'd be asking him to fund their hunting experience. I can guarantee that if they knew.
But and I don't think like that.
Yeah,
I just
yeah. No,
go
you're
do my job.
and honestly, that's so we didn't do a booth here this year, and I don't know if we ever will again. We'll kind of think about what it was like this year, and
Yeah.
we'll talk to people what they thought about us not doing it. But like, I want to be here as a hunter.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a hunter. This show to me, like, I was coming to the show way before Go Hunt. I
Sure.
like being here as a hunter, as a consumer. I like
Yep.
being here.
Yep.
Being tied to a booth all day and trying to sell shit to people that are here. Like, that's not me, and it would
Right.
drain me. We all would talk about, like,
Oh,
we
I
would
like
go
it way.
home.
I like this way better.
We would go home so drained. Trail got the flu.
Yeah, it
7 years in a row.
That's a
6 years in a row.
guaranteed flu for me.
Because it is so
Wipes me
grinding
out.
on us because it's not who we are.
Right.
We are hunters. Like, we want to be
Right.
here as a hunter. So that's what
Yep.
we're doing this year. We're here walking the show, hanging out, just being a hunter, getting back to being a consumer in the industry, not a business in the industry, right?
Yep.
And we'll see what people thought of
Yep.
us not being here, and we'll do what's best for us. But
Sure.
that's the choice we made this year. Is we're gonna come up and be hunters, just be part of the industry, be a consumer
best
in the
way to be.
industry.
Yep.
So and that's how you feel when you walk in.
Oh,
I know
love
you do.
walking. Yeah, I don't work in the booth, and not just. I mean, we have people, that are a lot more capable than I am to do that. But yeah, we love. He's been gone 2 years, and I said, "You want to go?" And he says, "Yeah, I've been waiting."
Yeah.
So yeah, yesterday we walked the show and looked at product and got excited, and of course, the business side is still there. So I'm churning, thinking, "Okay, we got to do this."
Yeah, that doesn't leave you.
Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, no. but-
I got the same thing going
No,
on.
yeah,
I still
yeah.
have that. I still have that in the back
Sure.
of my mind.
Sure.
But I like walking around and
Absolutely.
being a hunter first.
And it's great to see that many people.
Holy
It's awesome.
moly!
It's
Our
crazy.
industry, like that gets my heart
Yeah.
beating to see that many people and go, okay, this is alive and well, and that gets me excited.
I agree.
Gets
I
me
completely
pumped.
agree. And it's
Yeah.
been a night. It's. We were talking walking up here to get into this room to start this podcast. Like, we walked through the show to get here.
Yeah.
And it's like we were talking about, man. When I first came to this show in 2010, it was just this hall. It was
Right.
just this. It was
Right.
just right.
Right.
And then
Right.
you look at what has grown into now, and the amount of people that
Amount
have
of
grown,
people.
the amount of
Packed.
consumers. It is alive and
It
well
is.
in a huge
Shoulder
way.
to shoulder.
and young people.
Yeah, a
That's
lot
what's
of young
really
people.
good. Young
A lot of
people.
young people.
Love it.
So it's been,
Absolutely
we've
love it.
enjoyed walking around and not being tied
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
selling, like, just, okay,
Yeah.
we're here for 8 hours trying to sell. Like, we're not salesmen. We're not, you're right. Like, we're hunters, man.
Right.
Like,
right.
Just makes me really want to get hunting season here after seeing all these big deer, elk, talking hunting stories.
And
Like,
that's
man,
what this show
hunting
is to
season's
me.
so
I know.
far
I
away
always-
now.
So I don't know
Oh,
about you
I know.
guys. I don't know about you guys, but my season for me always ends with, like, a level of almost appreciation that it's over. That it's like, okay, deep breath. I can get back to, like, a lot of responsibilities.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But
wait, what?
Joe and I are like really confused.
I like.
We're really confused. over here.
I hold, not that I have a guilty conscience by any means. I'm very confident in the decisions I make and making the right decisions with responsibilities coming first. But there is a give and a take. There's sacrifice. In
Sure.
any decision you make, there is sacrifice, right?
Yep.
And it's like, do things have to sacrifice for the sake of me hunting and going through an entire hunting season? Yeah, like there are some things I sacrifice.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I kind of have this, this like weight off my shoulders feel where it's like, okay, deep breath, back to the grind, the real grind where everything else in my life will sacrifice for this grind ahead of me. And I'm back focused, ready to do it. Very short-lived, though, was what I was getting at. Because the second I hit this show, I am right back in it. I'm like,
Right.
okay,
Agreed.
where am I applying?
Yep.
It's very short-lived. I mean, it's a month where I'm just like, okay, deep breath, it's all okay, And then this show hits, and now it feels like August is going to be miles away. It feels like it's never going to get here.
Yep.
That's what this show does to me.
Yep.
Since 2010, that's what this show does to me every single year. It just immediately gets me right back into it.
Can I ask, as a younger father, when you had younger kids, you probably took some time away to hunt.
Took time.
Took time to go hunting.
Yeah, I did, but at the same time, I had to sacrifice. I remember when he was born. We're obviously in the gun business, and we were in the bow business. Browning was for a long time. I was an archery guy, and when Nancy was pregnant with Bridger, he was born in August, and I had found some really good bucks on public land. I'd been watching them. Bridger's born August 15th.
Horrible birthday. Horrible birthday.
Opening
Love the
weekend.
You
kid,
didn't
but
plan that better?
man,
You didn't plan that better?
Man,
I told my amazing wife, we're getting married not during hunting season, and if we're having a kid, there's a plan here. It's a 9-month
Well, if-
9-month cycle.
Yeah,
We're gonna plan
if
this out.
Nancy if Nancy ever heard this, she would. We got married in October, and I missed the first, I don't know, 10 or 12 anniversaries elk hunting. So anyway,
Sounds
but
like
Bridger
that's a
was
good woman
born,
right there.
Yeah.
and I didn't get to hunt those deer. Because, I mean, what are you going to do? I can't. Oh, sorry, sweetie, you've just had this baby, and I'm going to go take off and go chase these deer.
When my
So-
wife told me she was pregnant, I left 5 days later to go hunting. I mean, granted, the baby wasn't born. The baby wasn't being born.
Right,
that was
right.
my
No, no, no.
my
Oh, no,
mentality.
I've been-
She told me she was pregnant. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
so excited, so happy.
But
I'm
I gotta
gonna
go,
go.
yeah.
I'm leaving in 4 days.
Right.
Going
yeah,
hunting.
right. So I gave up some of that, but yeah, I mean, the beauty is, and anybody that's been married or what, any kind of relationships, you have to make sure that everybody understands that part of it.
Yeah.
Nancy knows what makes me tick.
Yep.
And has always been that way and always been supportive and always said, hey, you need this. And then when the kids, and hey, the kids, and you know this, now you can take them along. And I mean, these kids were young, I hunted a lot and I'd drag them with me. And what's Nancy gonna say? Oh, don't go take your kids and do that.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It's the perfect
right?
outlet.
It's hey,
It's perfect.
And did I utilize that?
Sure.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey,
Of course
manipulation
I
is
did.
not always a bad word.
Yeah.
Everyone
Right.
thinks like anytime somebody
Yeah.
uses the word manipulation, it's always evil. Manipulation could be good. You manipulated the situation.
Yeah.
You had your kid with you. How can she say no?
Yeah. So, but I do think everybody's got to figure that out. Everybody's situation is different. But yeah, I mean, I hunted, never gave it up. I certainly hunted less at certain times when the kids were younger, doing certain things to support them. You have to take sometimes, and this is hard because I can be somewhat selfish, and I admit that. But you have to kind of put that out and say, okay, I'm going to go.
And that's
I'll
kind
go
of
drive.
that's kind of what I was driving at. Is I struggle with that a lot. I hunt a lot on my own. I mean, I'll try to take my kids if I can, but selfishly, I hunt a lot on my own.
Yep.
And I struggle with that. Like, am I doing the right thing? I certainly come back and feel rejuvenated. I feel better. I feel like I'm more engaged when I am there on the backside of a hunt. I don't know. I struggle with this. So I was interested in your take.
That's what I was getting at. Is like at the end of the season for me, I kind of lose that weight on my shoulder.
You know what? Here's the other thing, though. I think, and this is something that I think, and I don't know what it is, but you do have to have some balance. I mean, it's gotten to a point where I mean, I mentioned earlier, I used to play a lot of golf. I don't play golf anymore.
Yeah, I don't.
But because of a lot of it, my day job, and I'm busy. But I am finding, and the older I get, and kind of looking at down the road, I think you have to have balance. I mean, I do think, I know this is going to sound crazy, and people may say, "What are you out of your mind?" But I think you can take it too far if you let it be. You mentioned, Lorenzo, that it's almost a relief at the end. There has to be some time where you have other things that you can do, that you can fill your life with. If it's the kids, if it's your wife, if it's,
Business,
my wife
yeah.
loves to go to Hawaii. I probably don't care if I ever go again.
Yeah, me.
But I'm going to
I
do
can do
it.
away with that
Sure.
very easily.
I hate the beach.
Yeah, me too.
No, but
Ocean's
do I
scared to
do
death.
that? And when I'm there, yes, I enjoy
Yeah, you
it.
have
I'm
fun
with
when you're
her,
there.
but
Sure.
but I think you got to have some balance. And the other thing that's great about our industry too is we can give back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really getting big into conservation. I love the idea and supporting and giving back for future generations. Well, you still get to be part of the industry, but you're also doing some things for others and unselfishly, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still all part of our deal,
Yeah,
our
absolutely.
DNA.
Absolutely.
And taking people.
Yep.
Helping people get times.
I've taken groups up to Browning shooting, kids that have never shot, little youth groups. The day right before it is, I'm like, oh, what a pain! I got to go do this. But then you see one little guy break a clay target.
Yeah.
You're
Best
like,
day ever,
holy
yeah.
cow, this is
Yeah.
awesome.
So rewarding.
So
That's cool.
Bridger, did he ever miss anything of yours? Do you have any childhood scars here that he ever missed anything yours
Let's
for
talk about
hunting
your
or business.
Well, I'll tell you, my 21st birthday, he was gone. He was
Was he?
sheep hunting. So I'll tell
It's
you.
August. It's a bad birthday.
I do remember though, and I think this goes back to the point of, you know, with your kids and whatnot, and you being gone is, I remember in 2020, before I was going to leave on my mission, he had his sheep hunt for Doll, and had been getting pushed back with COVID and everything. And I told him, we had a talk. I was like, because I was leaving in August, start of August, and that was about his sheep hunt. And I said, look, like, if you're going and you miss me leaving, it's okay. Like, what's another week gonna go to 2 years? Like, but you're going.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he's instilled in me, and I've seen that he respects, you know, being with my mom, being with us as kids. Like, he'll give that up, but how much hunting means to him.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he's missed some birthdays because August, right?
That was that's on you,
That's on
Travis.
him.
Yeah, that's,
So
you can plan these things out. You know, there's a math model. You can
Yeah.
figure it out.
There is a,
There's a math model there.
But I think just being okay and realizing that it's not like, oh, I don't want to do this with you, or I don't
Yeah.
want to be there for you.
Yeah.
And realizing that, like, I remember a couple weeks ago, you know, goose season just ended here in Utah, and I went snowmobiling, and he was in a goose pit.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that he didn't want to go snowmobiling, but it was he wanted to goose hunt over that. And so that was kind of, I had to choose to take offense or not.
Yeah.
And, you know, it worked out, and we still goose hunt together. We still snowmobile together. But it's just,
That's
Yeah.
good.
it all worked
Yeah,
out.
my dad had a big business job, obviously, and he was a huge hunter too. But I honestly, you know, my dad had the same level of sacrifice, and he tells me all the time, trying to mentor me as a new father. Like, he missed some of my stuff, but it never was to the point where, like, I don't notice it. I, like, now being grown, like, I don't notice.
Sure.
You know,
felt neglected?
But he definitely missed some stuff. My birthday's November. I mean, he missed
I'm actually
some
glad
stuff.
to hear him say it. I've missed stuff.
Yeah.
But mostly with the day job. I mean, I travel a lot for the business.
Yeah, you're going to Portugal
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Yeah, leave tomorrow to go to Europe. So I have missed things, no question. I can remember trips, you know, literally almost sitting on the end of the bed crying because I'm not there. But at the same time, you know, you're also doing what you can to, you know, provide this way of life and this opportunity for your family. And, you know, so I was anxious to hear his answer.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's okay. And,
Yep.
but
Yeah, I
it's
wrestle.
that balance.
I wrestle with it too, just like Trail.
Yeah.
Mike, I only have one, and he's young. But, like, you know, my dad, but everyone's different. Like, my son's going to be different than me, right?
Sure.
But whatever he did was right. So I'm like trying to how did you do it? Because I never felt left or abandoned or, you know, I felt like he was always there for me, but he definitely missed some stuff. So, like, how'd that work, right? Like, how does that work? So that's what I'm starting to wrestle with now too. And that's what I talk about. Like, I don't have a guilty conscience by any means, but when I go on a hunt, I'm away from my wife and kid. You know,
No
those
question.
are days away.
No question.
My kids in the golden years, right? Like, those are days I'll never get back. And, like, that's what I kind of, not that I don't feel guilty about it at all, but it's just kind of that sacrifice. Like, okay, I know who I'm going to be when I get back, so it's worth it for me to do this.
Sure.
I know it's going to fulfill me and my
Yep.
soul and what I need for when I get back. I'll be a better father when I get home. My wife will tell you I'll be a better husband when I get home. But, like, you know, it's kind of on, it's
Well,
on
I
your
just
mind
Saw
how
a
to
roll her
balance
eyes over there. Big old eye roll.
it. Yeah. My wife is here, by the way.
Hey, the piece of advice I do give him is,
Yeah.
assuming he gets married one day, if that's his, he's got to make that decision. But if you do, choose wisely.
Yeah.
And make sure that they understand who you are and what you are, and that you work together. I mean, Nancy never complained when I missed so many anniversaries. She wanted to, we both decided, you know, I know a lot of people say, why did you get married in October? It's fall, blah, blah. But that's my time. That's my glory. So I have a very fond memory of getting married in October. The
Yeah.
leaves, it was beautiful, and
Hunting
I
on
mean,
the front and backside.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was great. But I knew that Nancy would support it. And so I tell Bridger, look, if one day you decide you're going to get married, make sure she understands
Who
the
you are.
program.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And who you are.
My boss at the Forest Service, my supervisor when I started, I got engaged, and I remember him telling me, the first 30 days of your marriage, You have to do the things that you want to do for the rest of your life, and conversely, don't do the things that you don't want to
wanna
do
do.
for the rest of your life. And he told me, if hunting is important to you, like out the gate, you have to make it very apparent. Because I remember when I got married, I told my wife I like to hunt. And to her, hunting meant like they went on a family camp out, they did Dutch oven, they hung out, they might have shot a deer every 10 years or whatever. That's not my jam. Like I'm going backpacking for 10 days, I'm probably going alone, this is a different thing. So
Yeah.
I concur. You have to be very apparent or very transparent in
That's what
it
I'm
is to you.
impressed with you, though, honestly, is like what you've done in your life, the family you've raised,
Yeah.
the respect of your son that he has for you. And you still, you've hunted a lot. And my dad's done the same. So I always those are the kinds of people I like to talk to. Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
The things my dad has accomplished, you've accomplished, the respect I have for my dad, the respect your son and daughter have for you. Like, it's hard to do. It's
It
a
is.
very
It
difficult
is.
thing to do.
But it's doable.
It is doable.
You know what?
That's what I
It's
find is
doable.
it's doable.
It's doable.
Yeah.
It's doable.
I wanted to ask you about calibers.
Yes, sir.
Just
your-
a complete switch left turn.
Jumping in.
What's your favorite caliber?
Ooh, man.
Both of you. I'm curious.
Well, you know what? Up until recently, I was a 300 WSM guy. Straight up.
Brady?
It's a little smaller than what I would go with. So okay. It's a 30 cal.
No, I mean,
It's
it
at least a
was.
30 cal.
It probably still would be, but I've had some really neat experiences with the 6.8 Western.
okay.
That was a cool launch.
My
now-
brother loves that guy.
Let me preface all this, and this is where the business does have an influence on me. So you all know we're Browning, but we also have the Winchester brand in the firearms, and then we have this relationship with Olin Corporation. We license the name for Winchester, and then they do the ammo, and then we license the Browning name for them to do ammo. So I kind of have a agreement, nothing official, that I kind of only utilize Browning and Winchester calibers. I feel like if I'm promoting 100%, right?
Yep.
But I've found that there's some pretty good calibers in that range, and I mean, I killed a really great moose and an inland grizzly with a 338.
Gotcha.
And so, but for years, and Bridger can tell you, I was a 300 WSM guy. I like the short action rifle.
Yep.
I like the lightweight. I can hunt just about everything with it. But the new 6.8 Western's pretty tough.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that thing's
and
sweet.
it is a tack driver. And so I'm kind of swaying to that 6.8 thing.
Gotcha. What about you?
He's a bow hunter, man. He's got his
Is that allowed
family.
to be a bow hunter?
I know. Is that?
When
Is
you're
that
working- could you be a bow hunter when you're working for Browning?
Oh, absolutely.
Like you're not like
Hey, biggest bull I've ever killed in my life was with a bow.
yeah.
An old Browning bow.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
but yeah, so absolutely.
Does he make you shoot the old
know
Browning
what?
bow?
I did. I just upgraded though.
You did.
I was shooting Browning though.
Yeah, no. Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Look, we promote our product,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
but no, I mean, archery, absolutely.
Yeah.
I still, to this, there will be a time when I go back and
Yep.
hunt with a bow, and nothing wrong with that. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I side railed your answer
No,
a little
no.
bit, but
That's
Cal-
okay.
I was just jumping in.
I grew up shooting a 270 WSM, and then
Yeah.
I guess once I got big enough, I was shooting a 300 WSM. But then I will agree that 6.8 Western.
It's
It's
pretty sweet.
hammers.
Oh, I shot a buck this last year, that stag buck, little 2-point on one side, junkie on the other, and he hit hard.
Yep.
He ate the dirt, and I was like, "This is pretty cool."
It
Yeah.
performs.
So-
It definitely
Yeah.
performs.
Yeah.
That was a good launch too. You guys did a good job with that launch. That was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a neat caliber, and again, it's all about innovation and all of those things. But you got to do it right, and you got to make sure the product's right. And honestly, the people, people are the key. You know this in
Yes.
your company. People
got
are
these
the
two
key.
guys sitting right next to me.
Exactly, and the people at Browning are phenomenal. I mean, we have some really good, talented people. that love the game.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
the guy, I don't know, some of you have met Aaron.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that guy doesn't hunt, he hunts, but his shooting, I mean, long range shooting and this, and
That's his heartbeat.
oh
And it
my
comes
gosh!
across-
The
it
other
comes
day I went
across
in his
clear.
office and he started, and I was like, I'm in for a while, and then after a while, I'm like, man, you're making my head spin.
Hey, we could have some good conversations,
Oh,
him and
yeah.
I would just geek out on it.
Exactly.
Half my house is a reloading, whatever I want to do with it.
Half
and
his
Big,
house.
big man cave.
But you know what? Those are the people that I want on the team. They're the
Yep.
ones that are creating,
Yeah.
getting the feedback, and then creating
Yeah, they're putting the
what's
product
new
to the
and
test,
what's
yeah.
next. And people are the key to the world.
How long is the process for a new caliber like that? How long was that in the works?
Couple of years at least.
2 years.
Yeah, I mean, well, because you've got the ammo development side, and then you've got to get the gun right, and then you're back and forth with the ammo, and it takes a lot longer to develop than people recognize and
Yeah.
realize. We say, a good new platform product, like if we were going to start an X-Bolt from scratch, might take us 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
A firearm is something we're very, 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 as you can imagine, I mean, firearms got to work.
Can't imagine the amount of
It's gotta be
testing,
right.
like
Yeah.
the pressure
It's gotta be
test,
right.
everything, just to make sure
Exactly.
everything handles
and
it
we're,
safely.
We're adamant about that, as are all the firearms manufacturers. But it's got to be right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't mess that up. So,
So what do you
and-
guys have that secret right now? Why don't you just get into it? What caliber you got? What kind of
Let's
guns?
launch it here on
What's
the Big Hunt Guys
man.
podcast.
Do you know what? We have things brewing.
I like that.
How many things do you guys have brewing at it? Like, what do you
You
guys
know,
have like a 1 or 2 thing a year release schedule, a 1 thing every
Yes,
2 year release
yes,
schedule? Like, what is it?
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to have 1 to 2 major intros a year, depending on the market. If the market's crazy, like we've got product ready to go, but we're holding.
Yeah.
We're holding some things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds like we need
got
to grab
the-
a shotgun.
Sounds like
right
the
now.
goose is
Sounds
coming
like
in.
we
The
need a
waterfowl
shotgun.
calling championships, which by the way, waterfowl does not sound like any of their calling.
Yeah. So yeah, you know what? New products drive the ship.
Yeah.
We're continually striving for new
Yep. That
products.
innovation and just
Innovation, new products.
So give us your biggest secret right now.
My biggest secret?
Browning's biggest secret right now, what you're working on.
Oh, Lorenzo,
we'll just bleep it for the next 30 seconds. We promise. I'm just kidding. But
you got Brady. You are going to be very excited.
Okay.
I like the sounds of that.
Do you like being excited?
That's why when you get just straight
I like-
to the question like that, you at least get something.
Does
in
him-
return.
So you're talking about heartbeats this whole time? I just got a lot of heartbeats going on.
Does him say
Starting to
you
get a little
will
fluttered.
excited?
You will have some heartbeats.
Okay.
That's
That's all I
awesome.
need.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's a good piece of marketing right there. Well done.
Yeah, right.
If you get me excited, I think it's gonna be a win.
I learned that a long time ago when you just straight up ask the question.
Yes,
You'll
sir.
at least get something in return.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
You'll be excited, Brady.
Gosh,
Awesome.
my heart's racing right now.
That's
Good.
really good. We appreciate the time, honestly.
No, hey, awesome. You know what?
You've given us the time literally since day one, and we've always been appreciative. of
Always
that.
will.
Yeah. It's been
People
awesome.
appreciate the partnership, the friendships.
It's been fun.
And Lorenzo and I, come hell or high water, are going to hunt together.
I agree.
You guys need to
we
do
talked
something
about it last
together.
time. Well,
I know.
we've passively talked
We're
about it
going
for
to
a
hunt
long
together.
time.
It really pisses me off that we haven't up to this point.
He's
We
a
got
blast
serious
to hunt
about it
with.
last night.
Yeah.
When we ran into each other last
Yeah,
night, we
yeah,
got
yeah.
serious
So
about
we're
it.
gonna
We're
do
going to
that.
do it.
Yep.
Good deal.
So,
We're going to do it.
yeah,
We
thanks.
can
thanks.
go bow hunting together.
Let's do it.
Yeah. if
love
you want
it, yeah.
a good elk hunt,
I've
this
been
is
hunting
really
with
the guy.
I've been hunting with Trail one time. There's anybody you can choose to go bow hunting with, go with that guy.
Sold.
You're gonna learn a lot.
I just knew I was going with my boss, so I did all the recon the year before.
Yeah.
So the next
make
year
sure
we
it's
roll in
perfect.
deep,
Exactly.
2 bulls, 3 days out.
And a big bull too.
And,
Yeah.
and if anything breaks on your bow, like he could probably have
fix it.
backups and fix it right in the field with toothpaste and
That's the
whatever
guy.
else you need.
That's cool.
Don't let him wiggle out of that one. Like take him up on that one.
I'm in.
Yeah.
We got the
Fall can't
recording
come
of it
quicker.
already, so
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
you're set.
Actually, yeah, we got it on tape.
That's
There
right.
we go.
right.
No, we appreciate it.
No, thank you.
guys.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
We'll follow up too. We'll when we choose a hunt, we'll follow up and then we'll do a recap when we actually hunt.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Love it.
Perfect.
Count on it.
Cool.
Sounds
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Appreciate you.
your time, guys.
All right, so if that podcast didn't get you excited about hunting, hanging out with family, hunting with family, hunting
Then
with friends,
you're dead. You have no pulse.
yeah, so that was definitely a really good podcast episode. I would agree. So
Yeah, and if you want to go hunting, which you should,
Yeah.
right? After listening to that, if you stuck with it through the whole thing, got excited, the best way to put a permit in your pocket for next year is to have the information to do so. So you're going to need drawings, you're going to need filtering 2.0, which is our filtering system built within our insider research platform. It's going to allow you to know where to apply or where you can potentially pick up a permit, whether that's for elk in Colorado or some other state. So get yourself an insider research account via our website, GOHUNT.com. Right now, if you listen to the podcast, we have a promotion. You can use the promo podcast. And what that's going to do is when you sign up for an insider account, use the promo code podcast, you're going to get 50 points, which is $50. So that's $50 you can use towards the purchase of any gear that you want in the Go Hunt gear shop. We have a ton of gear in the gear shop. We're getting super stocked up. A lot of new stuff coming in. So use the promo code podcast, sign up for an insider account, get yourself $50 for the Go Hunt gear shop.
and it's no secret that we love Browning rifles at Go Hunt.
I was thinking as he was talking, I'm like, my kid's first antelope, his first mule deer, first elk. I just shot a Barbary last week, all Browning rifles.
That would have been really cool if we got into it a little bit more. But it's no secret.
Yeah.
But they work for all of our stuff. Like you said, your first memories with your kid, doing stuff with Browning rifle. All of our grueling hunts we do, Browning rifle. We've taken them all over the West and the world, for that matter. Like me recently doing some crazy stuff, and they just flat out work.
Yep.
So if guys are looking to get a new rifle, check out a Browning X-Bolt. You won't be let down at all.
Yeah, and those guns out of the box shoot great.
Yeah.
I mean, they really do. And I'm not a rifle guy, quote unquote. But even somebody as dumb as I am with a rifle, I can get that thing set up and I can get it to shoot.
Yep. So check it out, Browning X-Bolts. We give our stamp of approval 100% of the time.
Absolutely.